What's up? Cobra Kai here, and we got Cobra Kai Season 5, Episode 1, Long Way From Home. So, we are finally here on Cobra Kai Season 5, after the ending of the last season. Totally, we are now here. I'm not doing this. But now we are here on Cobra Kai Season 5. Hopefully, this season is way better, is way better than the last one. So this season starts off with an ad from Terry Silver, basically trying to say that, hey guys, everyone is trying. Cobra Kai is the best place for you. If you join Cobra Kai, you'll be a champion. So then we see Amanda just folding up some laundry, and then we see a guy swimming in her pool, and that guy is revealed to be Chosen. Yes, Daniel has moved Chosen into the LaRusso household, much to Amanda's annoyance. And she tried to say, Daniel, I don't want Chosen in our house. And she's like, one, you flew him all the way from Okinawa to live here. And he's like, yeah, we need to take down Cobra Kai. As long as Cobra Kai is recruiting these kids, they have no idea what they're getting into and they could be hurt. And she's like, I don't care about some kids, I care about our kids. And he's like, I'll take care of our kids too. So then we cut to Miguel in Mexico, where he gets off a bus looking for his dad. But then he runs into these two Aussie guys who basically tried to bribe Miguel out of his, he runs into these two Aussie guys who tried to scam him out of his map, trying to say, hey Miguel. Miguel's like, hey, I'm looking for my dad in Mexico. And he's like, okay, here you go. Here's a map. X marks the spot. And Miguel's like, thanks. But he's like, dude, I think you're missing your bag. And he's like, wait. And he's like, please give me my bag. And he's like, well, that'll be more money. And Miguel, not wanting to hurt these guys, is just like, takes his bag and leaves. So meanwhile, with Robbie and Johnny, Johnny is totally looking for Miguel without Robbie knowing. And even without Robbie knowing. So he finally does tell Robbie, and Robbie's like, dude, I thought we were having some father-son bonding, not looking for Miguel. And he's like, this is a father-son bonding trip. And he's like, I know you and Miguel have had your problems in the past over Sam, and now it's time for you two can finally make up. And he's like, yeah, I could be spending my time with Tori right now, but instead I'm helping you. Are Tori and Robbie dating? Because on the Cobra Kai wiki, on the Cobra Kai fandom, it says they're currently together. Even before the season came out, it said that they were dating. They did have that one hookup in Terry Silver's car. And then he also threw her his towel, his gi in the All Valley tournament. So have they finally decided to consummate their relationship? So yeah. So back with Miguel. Miguel's looking for his dad, and he hears someone named Hector, so he's like, Hector. So he goes, and he's like, Hector Salazar is the name of his dad. So he goes into, and he's like, and he tries to say his name is Miguel, and does this guy know Carmen and Rosa Diaz? And he's like, ooh, your name is Miguel, huh? And he's like, and yeah, but then some guy tries to attack Miguel, so Miguel takes him out, and he's like, still, do you know Carmen and Rosa Diaz? And the guy gets angry at Miguel, saying, dude, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know Carmen and Rosa Diaz, and definitely I don't know you, so you better get out of my bar before I send my guys to kick your butt. So Miguel leaves, and that's when he gets a call from Sam, Sam just found out, so Daniel decides to make an announcement that that he's closing down Miyagi though, because he's like Eli lost the Eli won the all volleyball tournament boys division, but we lost the tournament as a whole, so we have to close down our doors. And she's like, and then she's like, wait, what? And she's like, and Eli's like, Mr. Russo, you're not serious about this. And he's like, and then she's like, well, I guess we gotta get summer jobs. So they all leave. So then Sam's like, Dad, are you really okay with this? And he's like, well, I was telling her the deal I made with Cobra Kai. so she's so Sam's practicing her moves when she gets a call from Miguel, and Miguel's like, dude, everyone's been worried sick. Your mom and your grandma didn't know where they went. And here's the one thing I can agree with Sam here. And then the second part is where I still dislike her, but yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. The part I can agree with Sam on this. One I agree with Sam with is one. So yeah, so she's like, your grandma and your sick, no one know what's happened to you. I can agree with Sam on that. Because, of course, she is concerned for Miguel's safety. Like, she didn't know what happened to him. But here's where she turned into Sam, I don't like Sam. Is where she then tries to turn Miguel's situation onto herself by saying, Miguel, you weren't there to see her fight against Tori. Okay, when did this whole change happen? I thought we were talking about how Miguel's mom was worried sick. How Miguel's mom was worried sick about him. How do we go from that to Sam being self-centered and only wanting to talk about herself? And she's like, Miguel, I really wanted you to be in my corner. And he's like, corner? I'm out here in Mexico right now looking for my dad. You should be in my corner right now, Sam. And she's like, it was really important to me to see my fight against Tori. See, important to her. Miguel's like, there's more stuff important than karate. And she's like, yeah, there is. And hangs up on him. See, the second part of that scene made me dislike Sam. Again, I liked her in the first half where she was concerned about Miguel and saying, ooh, your mom and grandma were worried about you. And even she was worried about him. But then they turned her into the Sam I don't like by having her try to turn it on herself by making herself the center instead of Miguel. Like, Sam, are you trying to make us dislike you again? Because I actually agree with you where you said, because of course you'd be worried about Miguel's safety. But why would you then turn it to yourself? So, yeah. So Miguel hears some guy talking to a Hector. And Miguel's like, Hector? And he's like, and this Hector guy seems like a nice guy because he's like, the guy's like saying, hey, that should be this other guy's job. But then Hector's like, this dude had a baby. Let's give him some time off. See. So meanwhile, back with Daniel and Chosen are scoping out Terry Silver's new dojo. And they see that Kenny is passing Cobra Kai flyers to kids. And he's like, wow, now Terry Silver's trying to get kids to join, unknown kids to join. These unknown kids don't even know who Terry Silver really is. So then they get a glimpse of Terry Silver fighting, and then Chosen's like, I've seen that type of fighting style before. And he's like, where? And he's like, from a guy named Tun Su Young. And he's like, who? And he's like, and then Daniel flashes back to when Terry Silver first met him, Mr. Miyagi, in Karate Part 3, and mentioned that same name. And Daniel's like, I thought Kim Soo Young was a myth and a fake name that Terry Silver used to trick us. And he's like, nope, Daniel, son, that name is very much real. So then Chosen decides to teach Daniel the way of what Tun Soo Young was teaching, and he's like, Tun Soo Young's worry was very controversial, and he's like, no, Kreese and Silver were war buddies. No wonder why he taught him that move. So So yeah. So back. Tongue. Yeah. So back with Miguel. Miguel's just hanging out by himself when he sees his kid named, and he's like, his name's Miguel. Who's his name? But then a random woman calls Luis. So 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 they go to Hector, his wife, and their son. So Miguel's like, So yeah, so Luis is in a car when he's in a car, not in a car, but he's about to be hit by a car when Miguel uses his karate moves to save the kid. But then Hector's like, where have you seen that? And he's like, have I seen somewhere before? Miguel lies to him, saying, no, you haven't. No one tells this guy that he's actually his son. And yeah. So meanwhile, Chosen and Daniel are at home trying to look at Terry Silver, just like in the trailer where he's like, this is Terry Silver. To everyone, he's a fool. Tries to show himself as a nice, cool guy, not wanting to hurt anyone. But he's not. He's like trying to prove himself that he's a nice guy to everyone, but he's not a nice guy. So yeah. So he's like, we need to cut the head off the snake. And then Terry Silver, then Chosen pulls out these two sides, and Daniel's like, not really cut his head off. And he's like, these are not for cutting heads off, Daniel's son. These are for gouging and other weird properties. And he's like, put those away before Amanda sees them, and she has another reason not to like you. So anyway, back with Johnny. Johnny and Robbie are now in Mexico, and they get caught up with the two Aussie guys that Miguel interacted with earlier, and they try to pull the exact same game on Miguel, but this time Johnny is not having it. He's like, but Johnny ain't having it. So the guys try to do the same exact thing that they did to Miguel, but this time Johnny's like, but Johnny's not having it. Johnny doesn't want anything to do with their crap. So he's like, yeah, if you don't get that map on my face, I'm going to shove it up your butt. So they're like, okay, we'll leave. So he's like, could you find Miguel? And he's like, if you don't want to come, Robbie, you can leave. And he's like, no, I'll stay. So then we see Terry Silver as he's monologuing over the fact that we see Daniel putting a thing over the a sheet over the Miyagi sign. We see Miguel with Luis, his wife and his son. We see Robbie. But then Terry Silver says that if they're gonna need more people, if our enemies are gonna bring in more people, then we need to bring in more senseis. And we see one of the senseis is Chosen. Yes, and the episode ends with us looking at Chosen's face. So this premiere was absolutely fantastic. I loved the characters. As I said before, I just didn't like the scene between Sam and Miguel. Like, I don't know why, but Sam went from really making me like her for the first time in 5 seasons to making me again dislike her character, because I just don't know why. I understood her whole, oh, Miguel, you gotta come back because your parents are worried your mom and grandma are worried sick about you. I understood that. But then she tries to make it about herself, about how he missed her All Valley tournament win, and I was like, Sam, does that really matter? He's trying to look for his dad. Like, he doesn't need you talking about yourself. Like, season 5 might cause them to break up. Yeah, with Tori and Robbie together, I'm excited to see how their scenes will be together now that they're dating. And I did like the scene between Daniel and Chosen. Like it was so funny that Amanda just comes out to her pool and she sees Chosen like naked. Like that was so good. Like Yuji Akamoto, I think that's his name, is a really good actor. Like I like him as Chosen. Like he's perfect to, like, all these actors are perfect to play their characters. Like I feel like all these actors, even the kid actors, are perfect to play these characters. Because I'm gonna say, I have nothing against Mary Mauser. I'm a big Mary Mauser fan. I don't think that she means to make Sam dislikable. I just think that it's just the way we feel about her. Nothing against Mary Mauser. If Mary Mauser is watching any of my reviews and she sees my hate against Sam, it's nothing against her. It's just against the fact that I just don't like Sam. She's just the worst character. At least this episode actually made her kind of likable at the beginning when she's talking to Miguel and making some good points about how Miguel is, like, not, like, left his family, left his friends, left his family and friends to look for his dad. That was understandable. But then when she started making it about herself, that's when I started to not liking her again. Because I'm just not a big Sam fan. I'm a Sam hater. There are some people that like Sam, and I understand that. Like, she sometimes is an okay character. But I'm just not a big fan of hers. Like, I used to be when I first watched the show. I was like, oh, Sam was really good. But then rewatching it all the time, I realized, wow, Sam is truly the real villain of Cobra Kai. Because she is the real villain. Like, she is the real villain. She should be the main antagonist, not John Kreese. Because there are some points where she's the hero of the show, but that outlines her villainous qualities. And I think the second half of Miguel's conversation shows her hero side plus her villainous side. So anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next. And remember to strike first, strike hard, and no mercy at the Terry Silver Dojo. It's not Terry Silver Dojo. Remember to strike first, strike hard, and no mercy as we review the rest of the second episode of Cobra Kai Season 5. I'm really hyped for this season.